All books meet and end in the book of Revelation. In this installment, we'll see an expansion of one of Joel's prophecies in the book of Revelation.
Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. The earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and the terrible day of the Lord come.
The book is named after the man whose prophecies it bears. Joel, Yoel in Hebrew, means Yahweh is God. We know nothing of Joel beyond what is revealed in his book. Joel was the son of Pethuel and seems to have been a native of Judah. His prophetic mission concerned Judah and Jerusalem. Throughout his prophecy, Joel never mentions Israel. Joel himself tells us nothing about the time of his writing. He does not state under what king or kings he prophesied. Some historical sources posit that Joel prophesied in the 7th century BC, making him one of the earliest of the minor prophets. Joel chapter 1, God allows a plague of locusts to decimate Judah's agriculture when they had sunken deeper into apostasy. Hezekiah's reign came to an end in circa 686 BC, his son Manasseh succeeded him. 2 Chronicles 33 verse 9, So Manasseh made Judah, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem to err, and to do worse than the heathen, whom the Lord had destroyed before the children of Israel. This would have been the climate in which Joel began his ministry. Chapter 2, Sound an alarm, let all who are alive tremble. The great day of God's wrath is near. The priests were to alarm the people with the near approach of the divine judgments. It is the work of ministers to warn of the fatal consequences of sin, and to reveal the wrath from heaven against the ungodliness and unrighteousness of men. Yes, a plague of locust was pronounced, but God wanted his people to view the big picture, the Father's hatred of sin, and the endgame of sin and willful sinners. Verse 30, In the day of God's wrath, he will display terrible manifestations in our atmospheric heavens and on the earth. The sun will be turned into darkness and the moon to blood.
And I beheld when he had opened the 6th seal. And lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand?
Joel 2 verse 10, The earth shall quake before them. Revelation 6 verse 12, And I beheld when he had opened the 6th seal, and, lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair. The Bible singles out a great earthquake when the 6th seal was opened. We refer to the Great Lisbon, Portugal earthquake of November 1, 1755. The earthquake lasted 3 to 5 minutes. An average earthquake lasts roughly 10 to 30 seconds. The Great Lisbon earthquake was felt in the greater portion of Europe, Africa, America, and in the Caribbean. There has never been an earthquake that was that far-reaching. It was felt on 3 continents, and in the Caribbean. The U.S. Geological Survey estimates that approximately 70,000 residents died on November 1, 1755. At the time, Lisbon had a population of 150,000 residents. Roughly half of the country's population died in the earthquake. Revisiting Revelation 6 verse 12, "And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair." The next pronouncement in this ominous prophecy is the darkening of the sun. The dark day was on May 19, 1780, there was no solar eclipse. Joel, chapter 2 verse 31, "The sun shall be turned into darkness." History records that on the evening before, May 18, 1780, residents in the northeast United States saw a strange copper-colored sunset. The morning of May 19 began normally until about 10 a.m., when the chickens went back to roost, crickets began chirping, cows went back to their stalls. Dr. Adams of the Massachusetts Historical Society states that, "It was midnight darkness at noonday." In the nation's capital, the United States Congress cancels its session because of darkness. Joel 2 verse 31, "The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and the terrible day of the Lord come." Revelation 6 verse 12, "The sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood." The night of the dark day, May 19, 1780, was as unnatural as that of the day had been. Gage of the Historical Society quotes Mr. Tenney of Exeter, New Hampshire, "Every luminous body in the universe had been shrouded in impenetrable darkness, or struck out of existence. The darkness could not have been more complete." A sheet of white paper held within a few inches of the eyes was equally invisible with the blackest velvet. Dr. Adams of the Massachusetts Historical Society states that, "Almost everyone who happened to be out in the evening got lost in going home." The darkness was as uncommon in the night as it was in the day, as the moon had fooled the day before. Joel 2 verse 10, "The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining." Revelation 6 verse 13, "And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs, when she is shaken of a mighty wind." The 6th seal also unfurls the falling of the stars. The word stars is translated from the Greek word aster, as in asteroid, whose Greek root word means strewn across the sky. What John saw was a meteorite shower, but it wasn't an ordinary meteorite shower. November 13, 1833, Abraham Lincoln witnessed this phenomenon. President Lincoln stated later that, "I sprang from my bed and rushed to the window and saw the stars falling in great showers, but looking back of them in the heavens I saw the grand old constellations with which I was so well acquainted, fixed and true in their places." Gentlemen, the world did not come to an end then, nor will the Union now. The common thought was that the world was coming to an end. The very next day, November 14, 1833, the New York Journal of Commerce wrote that, "The falling stars did not come as if from several trees shaken, but from one. Those which appeared in the east fell toward the east, those which appeared in the north fell toward the north." And that's exactly what the Bible says, "The stars of heaven fell to the earth, as a fig tree, that is a single fig tree, drops its late figs." The prophet Joel records a sequence of events that precede the day of the Lord, the earth quaking, the sun and moon darkening, and the stars shedding their light. Revelation 6 captures John's record of the unfolding of Joel's prophecy. Revelation 6 verse 14, "And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places." After the stars fell, verse 14 states every mountain and island move out of their places. Note, the stars fell in 1833, thus, we have been living between verses 13 and 14 of Revelation 6 for over 190 years. Verses 16 and 17, "The rich men, the mighty men, the rulers of the earth and the lost, hide in the caves asking the rocks to fall on them because the day of God's wrath is come." In the 7th century, the Israelites paid very little attention to Joel, Yahweh's faithful mouthpiece. John has amplified Joel's prophecies that centered on the day of God's wrath, but unfortunately, we are oblivious to the warning messages that God has for us. The great day of God's wrath is nearer than you think. The prophecies of Joel,